Hello, thanks for joining me. I want to talk to you about fairies, or the Fae. To begin with, what exactly is a fairy or fae? Now, while fae is often used as a generic term for many kinds of supernatural beings, such as fairies, elves, goblins and gnomes, it's most commonly used to refer to the former, fairies. Fairies are elemental spirits, personifications of the forces of nature. While they are commonly depicted as miniature winged humans, this is only one of their guises. Occasionally they appear as animals, often deer or horses. They could also appear as full-sized humans, often exceptionally beautiful. Sometimes they have glowing green eyes. Anyway, I said that fairies are personifications of the forces of nature. The 16th century alchemist Paracelsus believed that the four classical forces of nature, earth, air, fire and water, were each represented by an invisible or nearly invisible spiritual being. They were respectively, he thought, gnomes, sylphs, salamanders and undines. So gnomes would be earth spirits, sylphs, air spirits, salamanders, fire spirits and undines, water spirits. He was partly right, but the real picture is far more complex. There are many more types of elementals, such as elves and goblins, and while some have an affinity with a particular element, they are all interconnected. While sylphs, who are air spirits, are often linked with fairies who fly about, fairies actually have responsibility for trees and nature generally, as are gnomes. Now, we might think of gnomes as garden ornaments. The ornaments are based on the mythology of these earthy elementals who look after the land. Undines, or water nymphs, are guardians of ponds, rivers and lakes. Salamanders might be guardians of volcanic areas. All of these groups of elementals, including fairies, inhabit the supernatural Fae realm known as Elfame. This realm, Elfame, is divided into many smaller kingdoms. Now, while there are myriad fairy kingdoms in Elfame, myriad elvish kingdoms, gnomish kingdoms and so on, there's no unified elemental empire ruled by an empress or emperor elemental. Elfame is not a place in the usual sense, but a different plane of existence, a magical realm. The various kingdoms are autonomous, and while they may have contact with one another, they don't interfere with each other's affairs. A particular piece of land might fall under the auspices of a fairy kingdom or an elvish kingdom, and so on. So your garden might be part of a fairy kingdom, or perhaps a gnomish one. A pond and its surrounding areas might be part of an undine or water nymph kingdom. The fairy kingdoms, because it's fairies we're interested in, are each ruled by a queen. The traditional number of fairies in a fairy kingdom is 13. 12 fairies, 6 female, 6 male, ruled over by a queen fairy. Much like a coven of witches, ideally 13 in number, consists of 12 witches ruled over by a high priestess. In fact, this coven setup is a relic of the old European pagan religion of which the Fae were a major part, but that's for another time. The energy that holds each kingdom together in this magical plane comes from nature itself and is harnessed by the ruler, whether a fairy queen or a gnome king. This natural energy comes from nature itself, from ley lines to the Earth's magnetic force. Rather worryingly, there is some evidence in the folklore that some of the Fae kingdoms are held together by the life forces of sacrificed victims. It's even rumoured that some people provide the sacrificial victims in return for long life or wealth. I guess monsters aren't all supernatural, are they? There are even stories of people being dragged down to Elfame by mischievous or evil elementals. There, the unlucky mortals are either enslaved or killed and consumed. It's therefore very important to be able to tell when you might be near a Fae kingdom, and what to do if you find yourself coming under the influence of a demonic Fae. Anyway, thanks for listening. Goodbye and take care.